To break it down simply, I believe he was mad and petty because the showrunners and Marvel wouldn't let him implement the more gay aspects of the overall story. Really, X-Men is a story about, treating other people wrong just because of what they are. Shit, basic. It doesn't get specific on one type of race, religion, or any of that shit. It more uses the mutants in that place. It seems like he tried to make it about the gay struggles in America, and Marvel was like, no. Like, for the most part, Marvel was just like, no. Which baffles me at the same time because Marvel has been all a part of this fucking propaganda, this LGBT and DEI propaganda bullshit. They have been a large part of that. So to hear that Marvel told him no on, that shit is almost crazy to me. Not saying that I don't agree with him, and not saying that, I wanted that shit in the show, because God knows I fucking didn't. But it's just wild when that's all Marvel has been promoting throughout for like 5 years now. That's all Disney is going about now. Really, I think this whole situation is blown out of proportion, because normally if a showrunner and a studio doesn't agree in one particular direction, the studio might just hire another showrunner, which seems like what they're doing. It depends on how far they're planning on taking X-Men 97. Do I agree with the whole smear campaign on his name? No, I don't. Because, I don't necessarily believe in, what somebody posts online and shit like that. That's more of their personal life shit. I see the shows and movies and shit as like their work. I don't necessarily give a fuck. And honestly, even though he is the showrunner, had this situation not popped off, I would have never known that he was the showrunner. Marvel could have let him go in a professional manner, but they didn't have to throw his name in the mud like they have and ruin his reputation. I don't have to agree with everything a person does. I just ask that everybody's treated fairly, and that doesn't seem too fair to me, that this man gave Marvel the biggest hit that they've had in almost 10 years now, since Endgame. I don't think it's fair at all how they doing. To a certain extent, I can't blame him for trying to implement, the gay story in X-Men 97. I don't blame him for trying that, because one, he is a gay person. So, and X-Men sort of leans itself to that, to where any really marginalized group could jump in and make that story strictly about them.